take you back to the story of we were talking about features, benefits. You guys know the story of the iPod. I'm not sure because you guys are really young. The story of the iPod, when Steve Jobs launched the iPod, not the iPad, the iPod, he didn't really say that it had. Trust me, it had. I think it had 5 gigs of music, but he didn't say it had 5 GBs of music, because if he'd said that, a lot of people would be like, we don't understand what's 5 GB of music. It's a lot of space, but we don't know. Instead, what he said was you could store, I think, 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 songs in your pocket. See, that gave people a visualization of, oh, that's a lot of songs. Because for me, GBs, as a human beings don't understand GBs, gigabytes, but they understand music. So if you tell me, I'm gonna be able to store 2,000 songs or 5,000 songs or 10,000 songs on a tiny device like that, I can listen to it portable. I can listen to it anytime I want. I'll be like, man, I'm gonna put me down for $200. I'll get that. So, and I see even in the retail space, I see a lot of salespeople make the same mistake. They will go on and on about the features, whereas they should be talking about the benefits, not the features. Okay. Next, the plan should be based on market evidence and not hunches. Again, you've heard of the that you know I'm sure you must have heard of a lot of these entrepreneurs making plans on napkins in a restaurant and thinking, wow, this is an awesome idea, let's go launch it. Again, nothing wrong with that, but whatever plan you have should always be validated via facts and insights and analytics. You can't just decide on launching a product or service just based on, oh wow, that's a good idea, let's launch this product and see how it goes. No, that's not how you launch a product or a service. You need to have validated insights. Um, even if it's asking 50 friends or 20 friends within your immediate circle about, it's not the best, but it's something that is better than going with your hunch, right? The plan should be strong yet flexible enough to for you to be able to pivot, right? You shouldn't have like, none of these plans are set in stone. None of them are like the Bible or whatever. You should be able to change them depending on, like, I know a lot of people last year who sort of very quickly changed their strategy because of COVID-19. And then, they didn't like, I know, so look at the training institutes. Most of them who were offline, who did a little bit of online pre-COVID, as soon as COVID hit, 70% of them, 80% of them were like, okay, we're gonna take some time and develop our curriculum, and a lot of them launched maybe 3-4 months down the line. Again, it's something. It's better than nothing, right? But there's 2 or 3 of them that I know personally. I don't want to name them, but I think within 2 weeks of COVID, within 2 weeks of lockdown or whatever, they had 2 courses online. So they got their team in. They very quickly sort of pivot. It's a very agile team, and I'm going to explain the pivot strategy in a little bit. They took the contents, just transformed it into an entirely digital sort of a format, and then started rolling out an online course. Now the thing is, I don't know what the back end story is, but the chances are everyone of their prospect customers that was looking for courses in their industry or field, who went to their competitors, who are probably thinking, okay, those competitors are probably going to launch, and this is in April last year. They're probably going to launch in June, July. Oh, I don't want to wait in June, July. Let me see what these guys have. And these guys had something right then and there. So the other guys lost a lot of money and lost a lot of business. And the lesson to learn is, if your processes are lean, you can be agile enough to pivot at any point in time. And I'll explain that in the next slide. Uh, Next, the launch plan is a team effort and is not dependent on a single individual, unless of course it is one person that is managing the whole show. But if you're even a small organization of 3, 4, 5 people in the initial stages, apologies for my neighbor's dog, the launch has to be a team effort. Remember what we talked about in the previous slide. I'm not going to go on about this, but it's clearly demonstrated in the previous slide. And number 7, the launch plan should not be entirely based on a competitor's product or service. Do not just assume that because your product is similar to a competitor's product that you can also copy their plan. Remember what I said earlier? The strategy might have been different. The market conditions might be different. The people that are managing the teams are different. Different human beings react differently to different stimuli. So you got to keep that in. Everything that you do has to be based on your product, your vision, your goal, your team, and your team's capabilities, right? There's nothing wrong in looking at what everyone else is doing, but what your plans are should not be based on what everyone else is doing, right? Then here's the iterative approach for product launch that I was talking about, right? So in a conventional conventional methodology, like in the old days, companies would spend a lot of time in launching, right? So they would spend, let's say, 3 months to get from point A to point B, right? And then after 3 months, they would realize, oh my God, we're far away from the target. We need to really move. So then they would spend another 1 month pivoting once, and then another 1 month pivoting the second time. So they've done 2 pivots, but unfortunately, they've launched really late. So they were further away from their goal. So what's happened is they've ended up spending more time, more effort, and more money. All right. A lean startup launches earlier. I always say, and this is not my saying, I got this from somewhere else. I'm saying done is better than perfect. So I always have this argument with my peers. Perfection is overrated, right? Perfection is overrated. There's no such thing as perfection. I know people, if you come from a traditional advertising and marketing background, which I come from, like, way back in the late 90s, early 2000s, my bosses at the time were like, so they wouldn't release a website unless the logo was positioned in that particular spot, because that was the company brand guideline and you had to follow it. It was like the rule of law, right? You can't do that. You can't have that approach anymore. Now everything is about lean, everything is about fast. Done is better than perfect. So launch it and try and figure out how you can fix it later. So a lean startup will typically launch quicker, okay? Because once you launch, then you get an idea. And again, this is a soft launch. You get a fair idea of what people want, what people like about a product, and what they don't like. And when you know what they don't like, you can go back to the drawing board and fix it. And because you're doing it within, like in this example, it's you're launching within a month, as opposed to the other company will launch in 3 months. You're doing it a lot quicker, okay? But your pivots, if you can see the picture on the right, the pivots are a lot shorter. You might be pivoting a lot more, but because your processes are lean, you're doing it shorter. So instead of pivoting every month, you're pivoting every 10 days, and then every 10 days, and every 10 days. So you might have done 4 pivots, but you've actually managed to execute that product in actually 3 months time, whereas the other company took 5 months. Not to mention it took way more effort and it took way more money, right? So this is again the the benefit of having an iterative approach. Do not wait for you to launch the product towards the end before you start testing. You should start testing right away, because put it this way, the best example I can give you is if you are going out to sea in a boat, right? You're taking a boat or a ship or whatever, right? And you just start your boat and you go in the direction. If you stop after 10 minutes, okay, and then phone in, and the navigator will say, oh, you're going wrong a little bit, you need to go north, or you need to go south or west or whatever, you can correct your coordinates and then go on further, right? So you're closer to the target. But if you just if you turn your boat on and if you just go on and on and on, and 3 hours later you decide to phone in and ask for directions, there's a very good chance that you're way off, right? So now for you to find your end destination, you're going to spend double the time, double the energy, double the fuel. It's the same way with the lean iterative approach. So test early and fail early. It's always good to fail early. If you fail 1 year if you fail 1 month, 2 months down the line, it means you can get back to the drawing board and refine your product. But if you fail 1 year down the line, that's 1 year that you've paid your people's salaries. It's 1 year that you've wasted on marketing and advertising and product development that you could have saved and spent on something else. So fail fast, fail early, but also learn from the experience of failure, right? So just want to take a very quick break. How are you guys finding this presentation so far? Now I can't see any chats or anything, so I'm just going to assume thumbs up. Rafa, can you just can we get some feel on how everyone is finding this? Is it boring? Is it exciting? Is it not useful at all?
Well, like it's very, very much exciting, and you're learning a lot from it too as well.
Awesome, man. I wish you could do this in person, because in person, I see it doesn't come across, but I'm a very energetic guy. If I do a lot of these in person. I used to do this a lot in person pre-COVID, and I used to get people excited because I'm a pretty energetic guy, and it's tough to do this on Zoom. But anyway, we make the best of what we have. Uh, so all right, so we'll go on to now. This is the important part. This is the cool part. This is the fun part. This is the part that I love because I'm actually a marketer by profession. Um, and initially, I was going to do marketing, but now since everything is about growth, we decided to focus on growth marketing. And I'm going to tell you a very quick story on how this whole growth thing came about, right? Marketing is crucial. A lot of people, a lot of businesses don't focus on marketing. It's a shame. It's like creating this beautiful resort, right? You've got a nice, golden sands or white sand, sandy beaches, blue ocean, swimming pool, great restaurant, nice cabanas. You've got the perfect resort, but then you're not telling people that it's there. So how do you expect people to find you, right? Um, and a lot of people make this mistake. They don't focus on marketing. They think marketing is secondary, and marketing is actually one of the most important things. It's what brings the eyes, the ears and eyeballs to your business. All right. So focus on your marketing. And with that, I'm going to tell you a story. If you want to be good at growth marketing, there's traditional marketing, which is your conventional, your advertising marketing and stuff. And then there is growth, and growth is marketing on steroids. It's accelerated marketing. And if you want to be good at growth marketing, you need to eat hot dogs really fast. Now you're going to think, hot dogs? I don't even like hot dogs. That's not the point. Let me explain. So the story goes back to a guy by the name of Takeru Kobayashi. Takeru Kobayashi was a competitive eater, right? He used to go and enter competitions. He's a Japanese dude who used to visit the States and attend all these competitions where he ate pizzas, hot dogs, burgers, eating competition. And after a few years, he figured out this really cool way of beating the system without breaking the rules. Bend, but not break. All right. So traditionally, he entered the Coney Island hot dog eating competition. And traditionally, the rules are you're supposed to have as many hot dogs as you can within, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever. And there's a pitcher of water and there's a tray of hot dogs. And the guy or girl who finishes the most amount of hot dogs wins. And I think this was his third attempt. For the previous two attempts, he figured, okay, the people are just eating hot dogs and drinking water, eating hot dogs, drinking water. The winner wins the prize. So he figured out this new way, which he dreamed, which he just figured it out in his hotel room the previous night. That's very simple. He broke the hot dog apart. He took the hot dog apart. He broke down the bread, dunked it in the water, waited till it got really moist, and then he ate the hot dog separately and the bread separately. The bread was already moist, so it was already broken down. It was moist and wet and soft. It was easier to swallow, right? So using this technique, he managed to beat the system by four. He finished all his hot dogs and he had 4 minutes to spare. It was a new record, right? And that was the beginning of what everyone calls growth marketing. They remember the Takeru Kobayashi story because it was literally about taking a system, not breaking the rules, but bending the rules. So technically he was allowed to drink water, he was allowed to consume water. What he did with the water was something that no one else had thought about, right? So this is what we do with growth marketing. It's all about finding new, innovative, cheaper ways to get your idea across, to sell your product, to get people to download your app, to get people to recognize your brand, to buy your book, whatever it is, right? So he basically, Kobayashi changed the paradigm of competitive eating. And this is what growth marketing is. Growth marketing is basically changing how people market, all right? It's all about growth in the long run. And one of the most important things of growth marketing strategy is prioritizing your funnel. You need to have a funnel, and that funnel has different stages, right? So let me give an example. If you're a SaaS product, if you're a software as a service product, okay, you have different parts of a funnel. Your awareness stage would be either you did a Facebook campaign or an Instagram campaign or a LinkedIn campaign, and you got a visitor to visit your product. That was awareness, visit your website. If you put a lead magnet, okay, and get somebody to sign up, not buy, sign up for a newsletter, for instance, then you've acquired. That is acquisition, right? If that person has come back, or another example would be if you get somebody to sign up for a free trial, that is an acquisition. Now sometimes some people sign up for something and they don't come back again, but once they do come back, that means the service has been activated, right? Now imagine that person's 2-week trial or 1-month trial period is expired, and then he goes to buy the product, right? That is retention. and then when he goes and makes the payment, that is revenue. And referral, of course, is he going to his either social media, or if you have a loyalty program, he will recommend other people within his friends and family network to go and buy the product, and then the cycle goes on and on. And you need to create this funnel. This is just an example. You can apply it to various online and offline products and services. And the reason it's called a pirate funnel is because the AAARRR is basically an acronym for R, which is the sound a pirate makes. Okay, so growth marketing is all about experimentation, right? So you have to turn on and off different sets of experiments. And again, these experiments are not huge experiments. These are small experiments, excuse me. This is basically all about rapid experimentation in small increments. All right, now this is an example of an outreach experiment. Okay, so imagine you're looking at a specific niche. 10 minutes. You're looking at a specific niche, and that niche is the banking sector, and you're looking at people that you want to establish a relationship, eventually want them to buy a product or service. So what you do is you identify brands. This is an example, by the way, and you can copy it. You identify brands that have recently got funded. And how do you do that? You use sites like TechCrunch and all those. There's lots of these sites that have listings of companies that recently got funded, and they'll tell you even how much money they got, whether they got seed funding, the first round of funding, the second round of funding, how much they got, who their investors are. You can, if you have a paid membership, you can even drill this down even further. This helps a lot if you're selling a SaaS product, because you can say, oh, we just know that these people got funding, so they have money to spend on their marketing, for instance. This is kind of, it avoids you blind marketing. You're going specifically to the source. So then you extract the information. So you use tools, and we have access to these tools, by the way. You use tools to extract relevant information. Who are the people that you want to target? You want to target the CFO, you want to target the CMO, the CEO, the head of product, the head of sales, whoever it is, depending on who you want to target, who your buyer persona is. Remember, we talked about the buyer persona earlier, who within that buyer persona sphere that you want to target. And then you can use a tool like LinkedIn, for instance, to cross-reference and find the same users and create an outreach. Because in most countries, like here in Europe and in the UK and even in the US, you have rules about unsolicited emails. So you can't just, even if you find somebody's email and name, you can't really send them unsolicited emails. So the best way to get around that would be find those people on LinkedIn and then establish a rapport with them, and then eventually move them to the sales cycle, right? This is what the nurture part of that is. In stage 4, we find them on LinkedIn, and then we nurture a relationship on LinkedIn, either share some content or build some conversation, and then eventually try and convert, which is basically move into either a phone meeting or a video or a Zoom meeting, or hopefully a one-to-one face-to-face sort of meeting. So this is an example of an outreach experiment. By the way, I know because of time constraints, I'm going a little bit fast on this. If you guys need more explanation, I'm going to share my email with the file later, so you can get in touch with me either on LinkedIn or via email if you want more clarification, right? And lastly, you have to define your metrics. So in the growth marketing strategy, you need to define your North Star metrics and your OMTM. Your OMTM is short for one metric that matters. Your North Star metric is your one major objective. That is what your whole growth marketing objective is for your startup, and it's a long-term thing, right? On the left, you see, for example, your North Star metric for 2021 can be grow revenue by 3 times, okay? Or we want to win 100 new clients, or we want to hit a $1 million mark, $1 million mark, for instance. That could be your North Star metric, okay? On the other side, your one metric that matters, that could be a short-term sort of thing. Like, for instance, we want to get 1,000 new signups for a newsletter, or we want to get 100 strategy calls. Or if you refer back to that real estate example, we want to get 100 new viewings, 100 new viewings for the month of April. That can be your OMTM, right? And then everything else, your outreach experiment is geared towards achieving that objective, right? So clearly defined goals, clearly defined metrics, North Star on one side, one metric that matters on the other side. Okay, so this is part 2. I'm going to very quickly skim past this. Take risks. It is really, really important that you take risks. Of course, don't, like, if you don't have $1 million, don't bet $1 million, if you know what I mean, but take calculated risk. A lot of people will have this apprehension because of, it could be a lot of reasons, because of bad experience, bad past experience, lack of finance, lack of knowledge, whatever. But sometimes it does pay dividends to take risks as long as they're calculated risks. All right. Next, listen to advice, yet don't listen to everything. And this is, you got to be picky. The best thing about advice is that it's free, right? But you don't have to take it. You can listen, but you don't have to take it. At the end of the day, you, as the business owner, or as the entrepreneur, as the founder, or whatever, you're the person that makes the decision. But listen to people's advice. You don't have to take all the advice, but listen. Okay. Network horizontally and vertically. What does this mean? Basically, network in all directions. It doesn't matter. You have to network within your peers, because you never know within 6 months or within 1 year where those people who are on the same level will go. If they go up, most probably they will. They may be in a position to help you out to raise your profile, or it works the other way around. And also network down and above. Above you would be, CEO level type people, people who are already successful, people who you want to model yourself around, because you need to network with them to get an understanding of how they're running their business, how they manage their tasks and their responsibilities. Sometimes, what they say, success rubs off on other people. Sometimes their success can rub off on you. And also, it is also something called success by association. Sometimes just by associating or having the same network as someone who is successful, there's a very good chance that you will sort of run in the same circles, and then somebody might ask to work with you or your product, or work with your service or whatever. So work both ways, network both ways. Cold outreach every prospecting partner. This is something I don't know why a lot of people don't do. And I'm going to be putting out a LinkedIn video very shortly for this. The first thing you do when you do launch your business is get your email out, send out an email, take out your phone book, send out an email to everybody that is over 18, everybody that can help you. It doesn't matter if you're old, your classmate from school, your college roommate, your I don't know, your cousin, your friend, your uncle, your aunt, whoever it is. Send them an email. Chances are they don't even know that you're starting an entrepreneurial venture. So just say, hey, listen, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm starting out a company called this, and this is what we do, and would really appreciate if you could help me out, find some new customers, whatever. You'd be surprised if, like, most of us in this day and age, 2021, I'm sure you have at least 100, 200 people in your address book. You'd be surprised at where that help comes from. Even if you get somebody to maybe not do a paid gig, it might be like a voluntary gig. Take it on. That could be your testimonial that you can actually insert on your website and use that as proof, social proof or whatever. But try cold outreach. It really works. Okay. Next, keep learning. Use every opportunity you get, whether it is courses on Udemy, courses on LinkedIn, courses on, it doesn't matter. Just keep learning, keep reading, keep learning from other people. Learning never stops, right? Like, I'm sometimes, I read an article at like 1 in the morning, and then 2 hours later, I'm actually looking up that topic or subject on YouTube or whatever. It's just something that gets me hooked sometimes. So don't be afraid to keep learning. It doesn't matter what it is. Learn from people, right? Learn from people. Learn from every resource that you can possibly get. Work on your personal branding. This is like super important. 2021, one thing that I've realized is I've grown my influence dramatically or on LinkedIn. And this is in fact how Rafael found me on LinkedIn. Because I was building a very solid brand for myself. I've actually spoken at 6 or 7 similar events, in addition to which I also run my own series called the NexGen series. And this is aimed at people, businesses, how they're dealing with everything related to technology, finance, human resources, recruiting, everything post COVID. And one of the reasons I'm doing it is because it helps me brand my personal brand, right? So work on your personal brand. Every platform accounts. Right now, I'm very solid on LinkedIn, but I would like to explore every opportunity that is out there. And besides, you got to remember, when you're a new business, when you're a startup, especially an entrepreneur, people don't know your company, but they know you and they trust you. So if you build a brand, a personal brand that people can trust, they will end up working with you as a business. Okay. Finally, productivity beats hard work. I hear this a lot of the time. I'm a hardworking guy, whatever. A lot of the times people are doing a lot of hard work, but they're not doing it right. Don't worry about being hardworking. Focus on being productive. If you can get something that would normally take you 10 hours done in 3 hours, get it done. Figure out a way of getting it done. It's not about working hard, like they say. It's working smart, being productive, right? Finally, ask for help. And this is, ask for help from a mentor. Don't be shy. Ask from, your ex-colleagues, your professors, whoever it is. If you think they can help you out, get them to help you out. One more thing, also ask for help when it comes to, like, I know a lot of entrepreneurs, because they want to save money or they want to save effort, like they'll try and do everything by themselves. Like some people might be good at accounting, they might be good at marketing, they might be good at finance, they might be good at, I don't know, handiwork, computers, IT, but you cannot be good at everything, right? So pick 2 or 3 things that you're reasonably good at, and everything else try and outsource. You don't have to find $1 million company to work with. These days you can find, people on platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. You can find people, just have a decent vetting process and you should be fine. But try and focus on giving all those other things that you're not specialized in out to other people to manage, so that you can manage them growing your business. Remember, the key is to work on your business, not in your business, right? And final piece of advice, stop chasing the money and start chasing the passion. And what that means is, when, like, everybody's, obviously everyone's got to make a living, right? You have to have a product service that eventually will pay the bills, and you want to buy a house or property or buy a car or take your family on vacation stuff. But the vision should always be to build a product that that you're passionate about. And eventually, if you do build a product that you're passionate about, the money will come, right? Don't focus on the money. If the product is good, the service is good, it will eventually come. All right, so with that, we got a couple of minutes for some quick questions. I'm sorry, we to do a hard stop. My question to you is, are you ready to jump on that growth rocket?
Yeah, we're very ready, very, very ready for the
So
process.
let me just get rid of this, and we'll just take a quick, sorry. There you go, guys. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found that insightful. If there's any questions from you guys, any questions, Johnson, Nancy, Lillian, how did you find it so far? I think you can unmute yourself for a little while. Just tell me how you, whether you found this of any value at all, because otherwise I'm going to be very sad.
Okay, I have a question. I have a
Sure.
question. First question. I
Who's
think of
sorry? Who's that?
it's me, Rafael.
Sorry.
It's me, Rafael.
Oh, is it Rafael? Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot.
My question is just based on this. So let's say you started a business because you like as you presented, you stated something that we should try to like take risk and maybe fail, then go back again and start it up again. So we should be willing to fail when we're starting the business, so that we can actually press on and learn new ideas and correct our mistakes. So the question I have is, let's say suppose you start a business and it's moving though, but let's say in about 6 months time it begins to flop and it flops consequently for a year. Should you like is it advisable to keep on in the business or to quit the business and start up another
See,
thing?
I get what you're saying. This is okay. This is something that I really can't help you with, and I'll tell you why. Because everyone's got their own personal like situation. Like, it depends on your background. Um, because at the end of the day, you got to understand, like, okay, so you're spending all that time, effort, money, whatever, getting this business off the ground. But at the end of the day, can you sustain yourself? Like, if you're 22, it might be different than when you're 42 like me, because I have a wife and son. So, and he's growing up and stuff. So you obviously you have to think about, okay, can I afford to keep the business running and pay his, pay for their upkeep, and pay for the mortgage. These are things that you need to consider. That is why I say you need to, if you're doing this, you got to fail early, because you fail early, you figure out where you went wrong, and you can fix it. Where it comes to, when that business is flopping or not, you can't really, this is something that is dependent on so many different factors, most of them that are out of your control. Some of them are, but a lot of them are out of your control. I'll give you an example. The talk that I'm doing next Wednesday is all about VR, and I know a friend of mine who launched a VR company in 2014. Unfortunately, even though VR had a lot of promise back then, it just wasn't the right time for VR back then, 2014. In fact, it took a lot of businesses up until COVID to become successful, because their business scenarios were not affected before. It's only because of COVID their scenario got affected, and they were like, okay, they're the ones that people would want to gravitate towards, because They provided a service that filled the market at the time. So you can, like, at the end of the day, you can do you can do a lot of market research, and you can ask, and you can do all these user testing and whatever. And 90% of the time you will be successful if you're doing it the right way. But there's a very good chance that your business will take a lot more time to sort of develop. So you need to figure out, you need to have that mental frame, the mental attitude, because mind you, and this is something I've experienced personally. You're going to get this first from your friends and family, and after 6 months, 1 year, they're going to be like, "Hey, Rafael, what happened to your business, man? I mean, I thought you're a businessman. What happened to you? I thought you're going to be cruising in a Ferrari." And this is something that a lot of people I know, including myself, face. You need to have extremely tough, uh, a tough shell, hard skin to be able to overcome that. And then also you need to have that mental attitude of like, I don't care what other people say. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, but I'm going to tweak. But at the end of the day, you also rely on your gut, because you know that this particular business, you've given it your best shot. The market conditions are not right, and you're just gonna call it quits. Like I say in one of the earlier slides, you can pivot a couple of times. Like, it's not, there's nothing that's set in stone once you launch that particular product. But if you've already done, like, you have to go by gut. If you've done 4 or 5 pivots and it's still not working, then perhaps it's time to quit. But if you've not pivoted, you've just said, okay, 6 months, I tried it, it didn't work, without changing anything, then yeah, then I would at least try and pivot a couple of times, try and refine the product, maybe make tweaks to the product. Are you guys familiar with the Instagram story?
Yeah.
Rafa, are you familiar with the Instagram story?
No, not really. Not really. Not
All
really.
right, so the Instagram, very very quickly, because I got unfortunately got to go. Instagram, when they first launched, I don't know what the name was, but the founders had initially, you know Foursquare, right? Foursquare is basically this check-in app. You go to different places, you take pictures, you check in, and then you share it with your friends. Instagram, of course, Foursquare was launched in 2012, 13, but Instagram, when it was launched in 2009, 10 in prototyping, I forgot what it was initially called, but the intent of Instagram was supposed to be a check-in app, right? But when they did their beta testing, they found out that most users did not care about the check-in. They didn't want to check in, check out, and share things about. All they cared about was the filters. Because Instagram, the way they became popular back in 2010, 11 was because of the filters. You take an average-looking picture and add a filter to it and make it amazing. And when they did the beta testing and they realized most people don't care about all these other features, they just care about that one particular feature, which is the filter, they just got rid of everything else and they focused on, this is literally their MVP. They got rid of everything else. They got rid of the check-in. They got rid of all those, it was like a miniature blog, basically. You could check in and say, oh, I'm going to eat at this restaurant. This is the food I've eaten. And then someone else will come. Oh, they got rid of all that and they focused purely on the filters and the pictures. And that's how it became a photo sharing app. What happened later on with the video and all that, that is all secondary. But the point I'm trying to make is they kind of tweaked it. Had they just stayed with their own initial business model, no, we're not going to go with that. We want to do it like a check-in app. They probably would have not succeeded, right? So you've got to tweak, but you've also got to make a mental note of how many times you're tweaking. If you're tweaking it for 10 years and you've tweaked it 10 times and it's not working, then obviously you've got to throw your product in the bin.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. I really
Yeah.
understand now.
So got time for one more question?
Okay. Someone has a question, and it says, Mr. Rodriguez, please, I want to know, what can you do to increase the rate at which your business blossom?
Growth marketing. Very simple. Growth marketing. I would go on, but remember this whole thing. Again, because of how quick I went through, I wasn't sure if you guys got the sample outreach thing. Was there's a lot of ways where you can find users depending on the product or service that you have. And the problem is a lot of people, because they come from traditional backgrounds of advertising and marketing, they focus on traditional advertising methods, traditional marketing methods to find people, which is newspaper ads, magazine ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, which is all good, right? But then there's other ways of doing it. For instance, I'm going to give you a very quick example. Let's assume that you have a product A, okay, and then you have a product B, which is your competitor. Okay, product B has already 100,000 followers on Instagram. You can actually use some kind of automation technology, and it is not illegal. You can use automation technology to figure out who those 100,000 people, who those 100,000 followers are of your competitor's product, and you can actually target them because your product is similar, but you have less followers. So you can target them by using similar content, right? So that is literally a hack. Again, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, but it's a hack to get their users. So here you're not spending hours and hours on outside resources. You're not targeting people on Facebook ads, on newspapers, whatever. You're going straight to the source and attracting those 100,000 people to come to your. Sorry, I hear a lot of static there. But see, there's lots of ways. Whoever that question came from, please share my LinkedIn. Let's connect on LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy to share some more insights on how we can do this.
So I'll actually send your email to them on the platform, and also so that others who may, like those who were unable to make it to the event due to maybe some connection problems or other reasons, can also access the video link and send their questions via email, and also connect to you via LinkedIn to also
Sure, I'm very active on LinkedIn, and I respond relatively quickly on LinkedIn. So feel free, either LinkedIn, email, doesn't matter. I'll definitely respond. I may be a little late by a day or two, but I will definitely respond. I respond to everyone. That's my rule. That's my thing. I respond to everyone.
Yeah, very true. Okay. Just do we have extra questions from Mr. Barry before we end the session?
All right. All right. So no more questions. I think we're set for today.
Okay. So on this note, I appreciate your consent to actually take us through the session today, and it has really been impactful and insightful, and we have had like access to new ideas to initiate businesses on our own personally, and
I'm glad.
And I also be willing to share any further details you would like to share with us also pertaining to like your events that you hold personally. So I'll forward it to the platform.
So two things, Rafa, and everyone else. This is addressed to everyone. Kennedy, Nancy, Edwin. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I put out a lot of really insightful, or actually I believe it is insightful information on LinkedIn on how to grow your LinkedIn, how to grow your company. My business, my content is aimed at entrepreneurs. My business, NexGen Digital, our customers, our clients are basically startups and entrepreneurs. We help startups and entrepreneurs grow their business from zero to whatever, right? So follow me on LinkedIn, number one, and you'll get a lot of sort of insights into what I do and how I can possibly help you guys as well. Yeah, that's about it. Remember, you can reach out to me on email as well, but I do put out a lot of content on LinkedIn, so you can follow that. And we are hosting something called the Next Generation series. I'm going to share that link with you. The next event is this coming Wednesday at 12 p.m. GMT. So I'll share that link with Rafa, and then he will share it with you guys. This time it's all about virtual reality. We have a lot of the ones we've done in the past were about video marketing. The one before that was brand building and brand development. The ones in future are remote working. There's a lot of them in the pipeline. So as and when they come, you will know.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Barry.